welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. And we have Effie today, who's filling in for Qasim as our guest co-host. And our guest today is Leslie. So, Leslie, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us where you live and what you do for a living.
Okay, well, my name is Leslie, and I live in Queens, New York. And I do like all different things for a living. So I like to juggle, do different things. So I can keep myself, like my brain can I keep myself quiet, only doing only one thing. But I am mainly a nursing student. So hopefully this is going to be my last year, hopefully. And so I pretty much, so my mainly source of income is like I drive people around, like a chauffeur service. So I just started with Uber, like the ride share, like Uber and Lyft. So then I was like thinking one day, I was just like, why can't I just like get my own clients, right? So I just started making like little business cards, giving them away, and I just started building clients like that. So that's pretty much, it.
Awesome.
Very
Awesome.
nice.
So, in terms of, you mentioned, how you got started with your business, but, you know, how does that, how are you able to, balance and manage your time with, being a student while also running a business?
Okay, so so right now I am like on a vacation. So I'm like on my summer break vacation. So I recently started like when I got out of school, which it was in May. So I started doing the Uber in May, but I also started my I want to call it like e-commerce. I am not too familiar with financial terms, but I started doing also selling things online. So I have my own website. I sell things on Amazon and eBay, Etsy. So the way I manage the time right now, because I am on a break, so I am not in school. So the way I do it, because I try to get like on private clients from the chauffeur services. So what I do in the daytime, so I'll say between like 10 a.m. to maybe 5 p.m. I drive people around, like if I have clients and I start looking for clients in between that time. And then in the nighttime, so let's say like maybe I just start like around 8 or 9 p.m. Then I attend to my online selling business. So I do that until maybe midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. So that's
Awesome.
that's that's the way I do it. So, but this is now. I don't know how it's gonna happen when I go back to school in September.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense. Actually, Effie's background is in nursing, so he can definitely relate to the grind of being in school. So I guess in terms of your e-commerce business, can you talk a little bit more about that? Like what products are you selling and how did you start doing that?
okay, so it's a long story. It's kind of funny. So one day, so I was driving um a client, and then he was telling me how he made so much money selling only auto parts on Amazon. And I was like, really? And then he was like, yes. They say, and the way he presented it to me, it was like so easy. He was like, all you have to do is buy a lot of auto part things online, like wholesale, and sell it. And I was like, that sounds good. I'm trying to make as much money as I can before I go back to school. So what I did was I went online. I just started opening up all these platforms. Like I didn't know what I was getting myself into. So I just started. So the first thing that I did, I found like something that I had in the house that I never used. And I was like, oh, let me sell these to see how this works, right? So what I did, I opened up an account with eBay. And I was like, okay, this is easy. eBay, easy, right? Then after eBay, I was like, okay, I need to do more stuff. So what I did, I started opening up on Etsy, on Poshmark, Mercari, Shopify. So it was at one point that I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? What I'm getting myself into? But then what I remember, this guy, he was like Amazon. So I was like, okay, let me try Amazon. I have like a normal account in Amazon. So I thought it was going to be an easy process for Amazon. So I applied to Amazon. I didn't know that you have to go through an interview process before you start selling on Amazon. I was like, okay, got approved. Perfect, right? So now, what am I going to do? Where am I going to buy products from? Because I don't know. I don't know anything about selling, buying, nothing like that. So what I did, I went on Amazon and I started researching what is people buying most. So that's what I started doing. So I started like trying to purchase things that and things that, products that not too many people have. So it's like I wanted to do something like create like a kind of a business, like a boutique where everything is like, oh, this is a rare find, but somebody will buy it. So that's how I started. And then what I did also was like, okay, I'm gonna need my own website because I created an account with, I don't remember who was it. I think it was Poshmark. It was one of those platforms that they were asking me for a website. And I'm like, okay, I never did this before. So I went on the computer. I was like, how to create a website. And I literally built my website on my own. It took me like about 3 days. So I was like 3 days in the house. I didn't go out. I didn't do anything. I was just like building my website. And
Wow, that's really impressive. I mean, I'm a nurse, as Dan said, I'm a nurse too, but like I couldn't, I don't think I could build myself my own website. I guess what was like the biggest struggles you had to create your own website and also just building your e-commerce brand?
okay, so you know how they say in school, like in nursing school, that YouTube is the best professor
Oh yeah, yeah.
and Google is the best professor. So I took the advice from, and as nursing students, we are very like that when we start doing something, we can stop.
Hmm, yeah,
That's our mentality as nurses.
for
That's
sure. Yeah, for sure.
so I don't have a computer background. So
Hmm.
what I did, I started researching Google, like YouTube. So I have my phone next to me, how to create a website. So I was like on the YouTube. So I was following everything that YouTube was telling me what to do. And
Hmm.
that's how I
Okay.
did it. I told you it took me 3 days.
Wow.
3 days,
Is
but I
there a, I'm sorry, you go. Yeah.
go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna ask you, do you find like does it take a lot to like to monitor it and a lot of work? Like, do you any SEO or how are you reaching clients? I guess what's the ongoing maintenance process for it?
To reach the clients.
Yeah, or get people onto your website.
Okay, so this is what I do. So, like I told you, this is something new for me. So I don't know so much how to, marketing. I don't know so much about stuff like that. So I made what I did. I went on Nextdoor. Nextdoor,
Yes.
that platform. So I created an account with Nextdoor, Great List. Then I created like a Facebook. So I have, like a Facebook business,
Hmm.
and that app directly connects to my WhatsApp and also
Okay.
directly I never had Instagram, so I created an Instagram account. So, and it directly connects to the Instagram account. So what I do,
Mm.
so all those connections, so what I do, I put the product on my website. That is like the first thing that I do, right? So I create like all the information, everything. And then what I do from over there, I copy and paste the link, and then I put this same paragraph that I use for my website, I put it on Nextdoor, and then I put the link of my website. So I also made business cards for my website. So I take pictures of the website, and then I also include it on that. So from over there, you can connect from Nextdoor, you can connect to Facebook.
Yeah.
So you just connect to Facebook, and then Facebook connects to Instagram,
Mm. Okay,
and then
nice.
Instagram connects to WhatsApp.
It's confusing.
It's confusing, but it's like a connection network.
For sure.
It's like a web network. So for Etsy, I do the same thing.
Hmm.
So I actually connect. But the way that I get mostly the people to my website, to
Mhm.
my personal website, is from Nextdoor. I put ads on Craigslist everywhere. You know, I take pictures of my business card, like with different products. I take my business card, I give them to the people at the supermarket. I leave it in
Hmm.
the banks. I just say give my business card everywhere. Everywhere that I go, I give them my
Okay.
business card.
Have you also tried like, building up the organic digital presence like SEO, or even now with AI being a big you know, the big talk now, have you thought about trying to incorporate AI into your website, into your strategy?
Of course. I recently discovered ChatGPT.
Yes, yeah.
I had no idea that existed before. So I'm using that right now. But I'm learning. It's to me this is like a learning process because everything that I've been doing is like trial and error type of a thing. It is like what is going to work the most. And also like I found out that people usually they do not trust so much like purchasing from the website, but they trust like Etsy, Amazon, eBay. So I do the same thing and then I just put a link of my page from Etsy, Amazon, Shopify to all of those.
That's cool. So
What they don't know is that they're paying a little bit more, but
yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you got to make up for the fee. So can you talk a little bit more about like what specific products you're selling and what makes them unique? Like what makes you better than your competition per se?
okay, so mostly it's car accessories. So pretty like cute things for the cars. Like let's say like like the little charms pendants or the little um dogs that they put like on the dashboard or like little things that makes the car like look good because we love our cars, right? And we want to make them so for some people the cars are like the second home. So it's mostly like that. And what makes them unique is like everything that I have is you hardly gonna see it anywhere. So anybody, if you buy something from me and somebody gets inside your car, they're gonna be like, "Oh, that is so cute. Where do you get that from?" And that is like to me, that is like the entire purpose. It's like to create something unique that not too many people have, but a lot of people want.
That's really cool. So can you talk a little bit more about, you mentioned that you're in like in New York. So and Effie's actually also like in New York. So can you talk a little bit more about what advantage does that have for you being in a big city like New York in terms of growing this business?
Advantage or disadvantage?
I guess both advantage and disadvantage. Yeah.
Well, I would say the advantage is that there is so many different people from different countries, and it's just like because it's not only car accessories that I have. I have like fashion, things, for the hair, some clothes. I sell things like for your pets. So it's like a variety of people, like the one all the time. And also in New York, like people, they're always buying. I don't know what it is, but they're always like buying, buying, buying. Even if it's like a little piece of paper, but they want it. So over here, they always buying, 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 buying. So I think that's one of the advantages. One of the disadvantages I would say is like, try to get your business, your platform to reach the people because there's so many people doing the same thing that is really, really hard. Like I had no idea how difficult this was until I got into it.
For sure. Also, I'm curious because when you're when you have a business, an e-commerce business, then you want word of mouth. You want your customers to trust you, to like your products. How do you find your products? Where do you source it? How do you find that make sure that it's a good product to sell on your website?
Okay, so I'm not gonna tell you where I get it from, but one thing that I will tell you is the way I do it. So when I get the products, so maybe I'm making the mistake that when I purchase the product, I am buying it to my liking. So I am not thinking, oh, does this person want this? No. So it's everything is to my liking, and I know I have to change that. And I have to change that aspect. Like if I want to reach, like, for example, men that want to buy stuff, because I know men, they're not going to buy like little blings for the car, you know. So, but then what I do, I purchase them first and then I try them first. So, and then if I like it, and if I see that is a good product, and it has quality, then I purchase more and then I sell them.
That's smart. That's a smart way to figure out, is it a good product by getting it first. I'm curious for you, so I mean, besides finishing nursing school, which I wish you a lot of success, it's nice to be done with that and the NCLEX. But
Thank
for
you.
you're welcome. Your e-commerce website and your brand, like, what are your top priorities right now moving forward for your website and your brand?
So my big dream was to be as big as Amazon.
Good luck. Good luck. How are you to get there? What are your priorities to get there?
In reality, that's a dream. That's a dream. In reality, and as a nursing student, last year of the program is going to be a little bit intense because psych community and study for the NCLEX, you know how it is. Um, so what I'm thinking, I really don't want to give it up because I didn't start doing all this stuff and then I'm just gonna like, oh, I'm going back to school and I don't have time for this or nothing like that. So I was actually brainstorming, and literally it was like yesterday, how am I gonna put in the time in? So what I was thinking, because the way I study is that I study for like 1 hour and then I take a break for like 30 minutes. So what I was thinking was like, okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna apply my study time, and then the 30 minutes break that I have, I'm gonna put it into the business, like to add the merchandise into the websites and do all that stuff. So that is one way that I'm thinking, how am I gonna keep on doing it? So it is gonna be for me, it is gonna be like, oh, okay, studying is like really stressful. But then those 30 minutes those 30 minutes break that I'm gonna take, they're gonna be like my stress-free type of a thing. You understand? Like to relax.
It's awesome. So, in terms of, if we're going to have this conversation again in 1 year from now, you mentioned obviously being as big as Amazon, but that takes time. So, where do you see your business being in 1 year from now?
In 1 year, okay, have my own storage unit with all my inventory products. And I want to have them like, it's gonna be like a storage unit, or maybe I'm gonna rent like a little space and then have all the products like to have a display. So they will either they're gonna have the choice to get it online or they're gonna come in person to see it. Not necessarily like a storefront, like a physical storefront, but it's gonna be like a little more intimate type of a place. Or some people they're gonna be like, oh, getting together, they're gonna come. It's gonna be like a shop party type of a thing.
That's
You
cool.
understand?
Yeah, that's really cool. Well, if somebody wanted to find your company, do you mind sharing your website or your Instagram, the best way that they could find your platform?
Oh yeah, my website, of course, is NinaByCreations.company.site.
Awesome. And then what's your Instagram handle?
Nina by Creations. By the way, that name, that Nina is my dog.
Oh, nice.
And that name came from like I was just playing around with Etsy and they were asking me for a name. So they suggested that. So I was like, okay.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, Leslie, I want to say thank you so much for your time. We're rooting for you, wishing you the best of luck. As Effie mentioned, not just with finishing nursing school, but obviously with your business, Nina by Creations. And hopefully, in a year from now, we can have that conversation. You can have that storage unit, and your company can grow exponentially. So we're wishing you the best of luck and thank you so much for your time.
Thank
Thank
you, Leslie.
you.
Good luck.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay.
All right, thanks. All
Bye.
right, bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Bye bye.